It's Nolan.
I be knocking down doors. Get up out the way before I make it kiss the floor. Yeah, every bag I secure. Flying out the country like I'm on a world tour. I be knocking down doors.
All right.
How you
How are
doing?
you? Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
I want to order for two people. Sure.
I invited Christine out tonight, especially after what happened at Bravo's party and the things I'm hearing what's going on in her marriage. I don't know where we stand right now as friends, but I just want to make sure my friend's okay.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody is doing well out there. That intro y'all just saw is actually from Love and Marriage Detroit. They recently played my song Knocking Down Doors. It was actually one of the opening scenes for the show, as a matter of fact, so I didn't even have to go searching for it because I don't watch the show myself. But salute to all the viewers that tune in every week to Love and Marriage Detroit. All right. This stuff is cool. It's dope that I get to show y'all this stuff. Cause sometimes YouTube blocks footage from these TV shows, which is why I typically have not been showing them. I used to upload them as shorts and stuff as well, but then I would get copyright claims and stuff like that. So it's cool that I get to actually open up the show, show you guys some of my accomplishments, show y'all some of the stuff that I have going on within the spaces of music and TV film. Because I talk about it, I say that I do these things, but y'all don't always get to see visual proof. And I'm not somebody that comes on here and just be capping. So it's nice to be able to put that stuff on display. All right. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about Dame Dash and Jay-Z. All right. Now, this Dame Dash Jay-Z situation has been going on for many years, but their most recent battle is about ownership of Roc-A-Fella. I believe it's Roc-A-Fella. What is it? Inc. I can't remember. It's one of the companies. I know they got Roc-A-Fella Inc. and Roc-A-Fella LLC. They've been battling for the last few months about this. Dame Dash has a delinquent judgment for a lawsuit in which he lost. And basically the government, well, I won't even say the government, but the state of New York, basically the government, is saying that he has to put up his stake of Roc-A-Fella in order to pay off the delinquent balance. Because I guess he does not have the cash liquid money to pay it in full on his own. Right? So if he had the cash, if he had the capital in any of his accounts, he could have paid this issue off and not had to give it up. But he's been trying to sell his stake in Roc-A-Fella for a couple years anyway. He claims he wants to dissociate himself from the company, wants to dissociate himself completely from Jay-Z. However, for the past few years, he's been doing interviews up and down, left and right, all over the internet, from this platform to that platform to even his own platform now, talking about Jay-Z. You know what I mean? And I'm not blaming him. You know, I'm not against Dame. I actually admire Dame in a lot of different ways. I admire his ability and his gumption to go against the grain in the industry. From day one, when labels were not interested in signing Jay-Z at the time when he was trying to come on the scene, they came together, they banded together and said, nah, we're going to do this shit independently. We're going to put our money up where our mouth is. You know what I'm saying? If we could sell dope in the streets and flex on niggas and drive Mercedes and shit, then we should be able to invest in our own shit. They did exactly that. And I don't think that they would have accomplished what they did without Dame being in the fold. I don't think they would have accomplished what they did without Kareem Biggs being in the fold. I don't think they would have accomplished what they did without Jay-Z being in the fold. It was a three-pronged situation, and everybody brought their expertise and specialty to the field, right? I commend Dame Dash's audacity and audaciousness to go against Def Jam at the height of Jay-Z's career in the 2000s when they started trying to put their arm around him and recruit him, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think it was hard for them to recruit him because Dame was very boisterous, very loud. And one thing you got to understand in this game of relationships is yes, you do want to have somebody who's willing to be the quote unquote bad guy to work on your behalf, but you also don't want that bad guy imagery to manifest into reality so much so that nobody wants to be around this person, nobody wants to hear when they have to speak, and basically becomes a source of contention in every single situation. There's never a moment to appease that person, because then whomever that person's client is will suffer. Jay-Z said, I don't want that around me no more. I'm good. Tired of splitting this money three ways any goddamn way when I'm the face of the brand and I'm the one that's bringing in all the capital at this current point. He went off, did his own thing, right? With him going off and doing his own thing, him and Dame Dash came to the table, had a conversation, and they were trying to negotiate how they were supposed to move forward with the assets of the company. Jay-Z originally only asked Dame Dash for the rights to his debut album, Reasonable Doubt. Dame Dash said, no, I do not negotiate with my friends. You tripping, right? So Jay said, okay, well, that's how you want to play it. I got to go do what I got to do, right? So Jay-Z then goes over, takes the helm as president of Def Jam for maybe like, 2 years, something like that, year or two. And in the interim of him playing that role, he was guaranteed that he would get the masters back to all of his albums, excluding Reasonable Doubt, because Dame Dash continued to own a stake in that. From 1995, when I guess when they first started recording that project. So that was the only one he didn't have full access and rights to. Everything else he obtained back due to his direct connection with Def Jam. However, Reasonable Doubt was not released on Def Jam. I believe it originally came out on Relativity, if I'm not mistaken, which was a small label under the Ruthless umbrella and all that other shit, right? So I don't want to do too much of a history lesson, but I do want to give a little bit of context as to where their relationship went sour. A lot of people talk about this stuff, but I think there's also a lot of sensationalism that comes into the play when people talk about this stuff, depending on whose side they favor. And for me, I grew up, again, admiring both Dame and Jay, and I didn't see one without the other in my eyes until they actually forced that division. And even when Dame went off and did Dame Dash Music Group, and I think Beanie Siegel was supposed to go over there at one point, I believe it was a few niggas that went that way. It never really worked out, but I kept my eyes on it. Then I saw Kanye, I saw Freeway, I saw PD Crack, Young Guns. They went with Hove, and it only really worked out for Kanye. Ultimately, everybody else kind of fell by the wayside, but they were not like super strong stars on their own. They did not have the branding. They did not have the marketing expertise that Kanye came into the industry having. If y'all can remember, Kanye knew from day one who he was going to be, what he was going to accomplish. And he always had the plan for the college dropout, late registration, graduation. He always had those first 3 albums already pre-planned from the time he entered those doors. So he knew what he wanted to accomplish. He just had to go through, the rigmarole, I guess you can say. So, boom. A couple years ago, Dame tried to sell off his stake of Reasonable Doubt as an NFT. Jay-Z intervened and said, no, you can't do that because we still own portions of that, right? Dame owns a third, Jay owns a third, Biggs owns a third. And you got to take a vote in order to make any decisions on behalf of that particular album. So that action that Dame wanted to go forward with, it got vetoed because 2/3 of the company, Jay and Biggs, said, nah, dog, that ain't it. Right? And he's been trying to figure out a way to sell off his share of the company for a minute. But now he's being forced to. Now, in the heart of the Kendrick Lamar and Drake battle, Dame offered that 1/3 stake to Kendrick Lamar via Instagram. Kendrick never responded, which was a smart move to stay out of it. We also have word directly from Dame Dash's mouth that he spoke directly to Drake They had a conversation. Drake was interested in buying his 1/3 share of Roc-A-Fella and its ownership of Reasonable Doubt. However, if y'all can remember, I talked about this before. Jay-Z came out and said, hey, whomever steps up to the plate to put the money up for Dame's portion, I want you to understand that in just about another 7 years, that shit's coming back to me anyway, right? So you could put up the 2 million, the 10 million, whatever amount of money that you want. You're only going to be able to enjoy any form of financial benefits off of this project, which is the only project that this particular company owns, for the remainder of 7 years, after which it will come back to me. You'll be out. You'll still have ownership in the company, but outside of that Reasonable Doubt album, there are no assets to capitalize on. So just to let you know, have fun for 7 years and it comes back to me. Now, I think at that point, maybe Drake backed off, right? Because Dame says he has no recollection of, what happened as to why he hasn't really heard back from Drake. He assumes that Drake may have had a conversation with Jay. And whatever happened, he hasn't heard back. We're going to play some clips of Dame talking about all of these things because you're just listening to me talk about it. And of course, I've done the research and checked all this stuff out. But when we have video or audio proof of these people saying these things, I like to play it so that you understand that I'm not making shit up and just talking out my ass, because there is a lot of creators willing to do that these days. Okay? So first, let's get into the newest thing that Dame is saying, right? He's claiming that Jay-Z is trying to sabotage the sale. He's saying that statement in which you're trying to, if you're trying to buy the company, just know that this album's coming back to me in 7 years. He says that is a complete lie. You know what I'm saying? He says that's cap. And he says the state of New York has also stepped in, refuting that claim that he does not have access to that copyright, right? So we're going to listen to what Dame says. There are some reports that are backing up what Dame is saying in terms of Jay's public statement being untrue. So I don't know. We might have an instance of Hove being caught in a lie. Oh shit. Let's go.
I know a lot's going on, but, something was filed in the court on Friday that my lawyer brought to my attention, and I was really surprised that TMZ and that the Breakfast Club and Earn Your Leisure haven't spoken about this yet, but to me, this is something that's very relevant. So this was filed by New York State, not me. Jay-Z's statements to the press have poisoned the environment for the auction. He has claimed that he has a termination right under the Copyright Act and that the rights of Reasonable Doubt will revert to him in 6 years. In fact, he has no such termination right, and RAF is entitled to renewal term, which is now 67 years, meaning it will own the copyrights until the year 2098, not 7 or 6 years like everyone was promoting, but till 2098, another 100 years at least. In other words, the highest possible auction price could be more than 10 times higher than it is likely now. Given Jay-Z and RAF's actions, RAF is complicit by its inaction in pushing back such false statements. So that was filed by the state, and that means that, in fact, Homeboy does not get his rights back completely in 6 years or 7 years or whatever was promoted. So every single person that took the time to promote, why would you buy it if you only get it for 5-6 years? Everyone that took the time to repost TMZ, Earn Your Leisure, Breakfast Club, whoever else was talking it, please correct your statement and repost this and let it be known that reasonable doubt, the rights stay with Roc-A-Fella Inc. for the next 100 years. And it said it should be worth 10 times more. So if that was an issue with you before, it should not be now. And again, we'll see who promotes it, because you promoted the other side, which was not true. But in this moment, we still for sale. This chain is still available. I launched America New. No one else showed up with a network. And this dude, Steve Stout, is lying through his teeth ridiculously, talking about I might have ran from his punk ass, which is hilarious to me, in front of my girl Raquel. And that, I smacked the shit out of him, but I was around 10 other people, but that was a lie. Jay-Z was in the room, and Jay-Z couldn't do shit about it. Ask about that. Steve Stout, stop lying. Whoever's telling you to talk about me all day long, tell them, why don't you just leave him alone? Let me get over. Let me just heal. Okay, he smacked me for ass betting him in front of his son. I'll tell you that whole story later as well. But now you talking it and you popping it, I got to talk about it. Holla back. Still waiting for certain people to close. It's back on. Holla.
All right, so that's Dame Dash speaking out. He says that the state of New York has issued a statement. We're going to go ahead and pull up Vibe, because they've spoken on this. So let's see what is actually printed here, okay? So they say, the drama surrounding Dame Dash's pending auction of his stake in Roc-A-Fella Records and Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt album continued to mount. In the latest developments surrounding the proposed sale, the city of New York, not the state, has stepped into the fray, with the lawyer claiming that Jay-Z has done everything in his power to diminish potential bids for Dash's stake, including withholding paperwork critical to its valuation. In a filing obtained by All Hip Hop to United States Magistrate Judge Robert W. Leberger, the city of New York, represented by the NYC Department of Social Services, has requested a stay of Dash's auction, as well as a pre-motion conference and damaging claims made by Jay-Z regarding Dash's stake. Gerald E. Singleton, who's the attorney representing the city, he says Jay-Z has issued widely publicized statements warning potential bidders that copyright ownership will revert back to him in 2031. Okay? Singleton's accusation is in response to Jay filing motion to claim ownership over the master recordings of the album in August, which was a move widely publicized across media outlets, as Dame Dash just said. They say, according to Hove's filing, ownership of Reasonable Doubt's master recordings will revert back in 2031. Again, just repeating themselves, meaning a potential buyer would only hold ownership of the album for roughly 6 years, thus minimizing the perceived value of their stake. However, Singleton has refuted those claims, which he says are in conflict with the city of New York's interest to receive payment to cover Dash's various debts. He says those statements are false and extremely damaging to the city's interests in ensuring that the auction will generate sufficient funds to satisfy all existing child support arrearages and secure future child support payments, because Dame Dash is also in the red as it pertains to child support. Singleton is also charged that Jay-Z has withheld information regarding Reasonable Doubt royalties, despite a subpoena ordering him to do so. According to the attorney and Dash himself, such documents could vastly affect the valuation of the executive's stake and heighten potential bids for ownership. So Jay-Z, and I'm assuming Biggs, because he would have access to these as well. I'm trying to understand how Dame doesn't have access to these as a third co-owner. But they're looking to see how much money Reasonable Doubt is bringing in. Now, Reasonable Doubt is one of the least successful Jay-Z albums ever released. It was his first, and it may be the most critically appreciated by fans, but it wasn't a sensation when it came out, right? It took years before it was revered as a hip-hop classic. Over the years, it has increased in popularity, but if you go and check out the majority of the big songs on Jay across streaming services, let me just pull it up for proof or confirmation. What are the biggest records that people are streaming by Jay-Z? Ain't no point in me coming up with a theory. So, top 10 records from Jay-Z's catalog, and that's not really accurate, but just on Spotify, most popular records. Number 1, Empire State of Mind. Number 2, Niggas in Paris. Number 3, Numb Encore, which is his collaboration with Linkin Park. Number 4, Run This Town, featuring Kanye West and Rihanna. Number 5, No Church in the Wild. Number 6, Gotta Have It. These are Niggas in Paris, No Church in the Wild, Gotta Have It. These are all from Watch the Throne, his collaboration album with Kanye West. But of course, these are not in order. And sometimes Spotify's most popular list is not always what's most popular, but we're going to continue, at least go through 10. The song 444 from his album 444. Number 8, Otis. Number 9, '03 Bonnie and Clyde featuring Beyonce. And number 10, Why I Love You, also featured on Watch the Throne. So a lot of that Watch the Throne material has been trending lately. Because that's really what this popular thing is showing y'all, is like what's been trending most recently. But none of that music is from Reasonable Doubt. You don't even hear stuff from Volume 2, Volume 3. You don't see nothing from Black Album. None of that. So that's just a microcosm of the music from Jay-Z that people are listening to. Not so much the Reasonable Doubt, but his core audience, of course, knows that album front and back. Okay? Let's continue. Attorney Singleton says the auction should be conducted in a manner that will bring the highest price for the benefit of affected judgment creditors. Singleton insisted in this filing, which points out that Jay-Z's contract with Roc-A-Fella explicitly lists Reasonable Doubt as a work made for hire, thus granting Dash and the label ownership of the copyright until 2098. Now, I find it very interesting that Jay-Z created an album as a work for hire, but again, they began this process in 1995. Perhaps he maybe he didn't understand what he was signing. Because ain't no way I'm going to go into a project with two of my friends. We're going to work on it together, but I'm the artist. I'm the one corralling the producers. I'm the one writing the music. I'm the one performing the music. And I'm only going to be listed here as a work for hire. No, I need ownership. But he has ownership as a part of the company. So that's what's interesting to me. But I guess he, in particular, outside of the conglomerate, has no right to it. It's interesting how this is being worded. The auction for Dash's stake in Reasonable Doubt and Roc-A-Fella Records was scheduled for August 29th, with bids opening at $1.2 million, with a $240,000 deposit required. Now, also, there's probably some people out there wondering why Jay-Z has not offered to buy Dame's stake in the company. He has. Reportedly, he offered Dame Dash $2 million, and Dame Dash said that wasn't enough. Okay? Now, I believe Dame wants to receive somewhere in the ballpark of $10 million to get rid of his stake in the company. I don't know if he's going to get $10 million, especially with how sticky this is. You'd have to be a very bold person. You'd have to almost be, what's that guy's name that bought that Wu-Tang shit? What the fuck was that dude's name? Damn, Shkreli, Martin Shkreli or whatever the fuck his whack ass name was. I think it was Martin Shkreli. You would have to be one of them type motherfuckers to come in and think you finna buy this shit and be like a, what do you expect? You know what I mean? You gonna put $2 million, $10 million up. You're gonna become a partner in a company that you're not gonna be welcomed into. You're not gonna be appreciated. You're not going to be valued as an equal, although you own equal shares. Whatever meetings are being conducted about the music, you're going to get vetoed every time because it's always going to be a 2 out of 3 vote. Biggs and Jay, although they're not the best of friends today, they are still business partners to a degree. So you're going to lose. And that's why Dame is offloading the company, because he can't do shit with reasonable doubt. He's tried to do things with reasonable doubt, and he always gets a 2 out of 3 veto that says he can't make no moves. So really, all you're signing up to do is receive royalties from reasonable doubt for what they say until 2098, which is a great amount of time. But again, it would be nice to know how much this album generates in royalties annually, because you could easily be paying an amount that you don't actually get back. And the only thing you're going to have to show for it is paperwork that says you're a part owner, and you'll get a Roc-A-Fella chain, which not many people have. Even though Jay-Z has given out plenty of Roc-A-Fella chains in the last 10 years or so, I would still imagine there's probably less than 50 people that have an authentic Roc-A-Fella piece. So you would be one of those people, but is it worth $10 million? Even if Drake himself were to purchase this 1/3 stake in the company and get a Roc-A-Fella chain, I don't know what he expects, and I think Drake only really humored the opportunity because him and Jay-Z, I guess, I'm assuming, are not in the best of places right now. They've had an up and down rocky relationship. They've taken shots at each other in records for numerous reasons. So I'm assuming that they must not be on the greatest of terms at this moment. So Drake was like, let me just see what it would cost for me to be like, shit, I'm in business with you, get a Roc-A-Fella chain. So let's get into Dame talking about that and his conversation with Drake.
Dame, what you think about the Super Bowl decision?
The Kendrick Lamar thing?
Yeah.
Well, I see what people are saying, but if I step in that conversation, then, I'm hating on Homeboy and I'm always talking about Homeboy. But what I do know is this. As for battle rap, shit, there's never been a battle rap where, the record becomes a hit, puts another artist in a very uncomfortable position, pause, and then they get to perform it at the Super Bowl. That's ill. And, I'm thinking like, what would I do if I was Drake? And I'd be like, well, a big W would be to come to the Super Bowl with one of these Roc-A-Fella chains. And, Drake hollered at me through DM and made an offer. And I'm not quite sure what happened, but I thought that he had got with Jay or something, but I don't know. But it would be a good time to close. But if you got it, I wouldn't do it if you don't got it. But, if you want to own reasonable doubt, if you want to own a third of it, have a say at the board meetings for at least the next 7 years and make money off of it, I would get these chains. You get one. And I'm going to make it even better. I spoke to Alligator Jesus, and I was like, yo, if somebody does buy it for this price, now I got to give some Roc-A-Fella Grrrls. So I guess I'll put up some Roc-A-Fella Grrrls as well if he put up the bread. Get Alligator Jesus to make him. He made bees.
Now, no disrespect to Dame. Got a lot of respect for Dame. You about the last nigga on earth to be promoting Grrrls, my brother. Please never endorse another grill. It's about time to stop wearing the grill, as a matter of fact, because we saw on live camera action when your motherfucking grill fell out your mouth while you was talking to 50 Cent. The shit flew out like goddamn Homer Simpson's father. Like, you was in the bit, hey man, all respect, dude. Love you, dog. But what the fuck was that? You came in. You came out telling myself, hey, 50, you want to see if I'm real? Right when you said, come see if I'm real, we saw how real it was. Your motherfucking shit went ka-clunk. Oh, shit. That was wild. Now, the topic of this video is not Dame Dash's teeth. So, if you've seen it, you've seen it. If you haven't, search it. You know, I don't want to come across as making biased content. I fuck with both parties. I fuck with Dame. I fuck with Jay. I think both of them definitely have a little bit of cap in their rap as it pertains to this ongoing battle. And I think whoever has the greatest cap is gonna win. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. I think Jay, you're gonna lose part of the company. It is what it is. It sucks, right? Because you're about to let a complete stranger or a perceived complete stranger, depending on who wins. Because maybe Drake gets it, and he ain't a stranger, but he ain't never played a role in the intimate details of nothing you had going on professionally. So that would still be weird and awkward. But whomever gets it, again, you're not going to be valued. You're not going to be seen as an equal. You're going to get an automatic 2 out of 3 no on everything you propose. If you ever tried to propose anything, I don't even know. They're going to write up some crazy shit. Like, I got to be honest. Jay-Z is a businessman, a hustler. He ain't going to fuck you over some type of way. And I'm not advocating for getting fucked over, but I just, if I'm sitting in the position of a Jay-Z, right? This is my album. It's got my face. It's got my name on the cover. It's got my written compositions of what I put my, you know what I mean, my entire life up to that point. Because this is the first album, and everybody says you basically work on your debut album your entire life up to that moment. I think this album dropped when he was like 26. So the first 26 years of my life I put into this work. He's always said in interviews, on stage, any opportunity that he has when he talks about this album, this is the closest one to his heart. It's the one that matters the most. Again, he was willing to allow Dame to have ownership of his entire catalog, except Reasonable Doubt. And Dame said, nah, dog, I'm not negotiating, bro. So if you hold it, and let me put myself back in the position. If I hold something that dear to my heart, and this person finds themselves in an outstanding debt, and they gotta forfeit their ownership in my shit, and it can just go to any motherfucker that got the right amount of money, and I don't got really much say in it, right? Ultimately, Jay is gonna have to submit those royalty reports. Ultimately, he's gonna have to come to the table and let this thing happen. He clearly can't bid on it. Dame Dash said no, unless Jay sends an anonymous person. Well, I won't say anonymous, but sends a person, you know, sanctioned through him to be like, yo, I'm gonna give you 15 million to play with, or it'll come from my account. You know, however they want to do that. I don't know how motherfuckers do this shit. I ain't rich enough to know how they do this shit, how they move money, right? But we got 15 to play with this auction. It can't be me because he ain't gonna accept it. So we need to get somebody who appears to be random, right? That could be an option. Or if a complete stranger really does get it, Jay and Biggs are gonna come to the owner's table and say, yes, you now own stake in Roc-A-Fella. Now here's the bylaws that come with the company. You can't do shit. You can't say shit. Next time we have a meeting, we can have a meeting without you because you ain't shit. Right? But for the rest of your natural born life, you can still retain your stake, receive royalties, etc., until we figure out a way to where you no longer have a natural born life. Hey, man, y'all remember that nigga Kanye said, Jay-Z, don't send your killers at me, man. I don't want nobody to end up dead now. I'm just saying, if I'm in that position and I don't want nobody, like, come on, dog. I'm gonna go to the lengths. Maybe not to off nobody. I ain't that cutthroat. But I can understand why somebody might. But in real life, man, this is really a lot of there's a lot of dispute. It's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo. And the only asset under the company is one fucking album. If I'm just being like completely objective about the situation, regardless of the sentimental value and all that shit, it's one fucking album. It's not all that profitable of an album compared to the rest of the catalog. It doesn't have major singles from it. It's really just a keepsake piece. And I understand that and I get it, but I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things, it only owns one asset. At a certain point, just cut the losses, man. Like let the shit go. and figure out the loophole on how to get it back after this shit's over with. Because there's always a loophole. There is always a loophole. Remember that nigga Jay-Z, who did he sue last year? Didn't he sue them motherfuckers? Damn, what was the company? Ace of Spade? Whoever was over Ace of Spade, didn't he fucking sue them niggas? And get some money up out them motherfuckers? Diddy tried to pull the same move and got diddlered? Didn't get diddly? Oh, man. Got to be more careful. Or was it Duce? It wasn't Ace of Spade, it was Duce. He sued the motherfuckers that was over Duce. Basically, the same exact move Diddy tried to make. Basically saying that y'all are limiting the promotion of the company. Y'all are not giving us transparency on how much we're really making. We're making way more money than what y'all are distributing down to us. Y'all are limiting the marketing, all this shit. You know what I'm saying? And Jay-Z went forth and I think they got some bread out the motherfuckers. Diddy tried that same shit with Diageo and they said, Diageo. Diageo. Damn. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. I got a few more videos to make before I sign out for today. So just stay on the lookout for more content. I'll see y'all soon. All right. Much love and respect, y'all. Peace.
Yeah, king of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross I'm out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.